pimenter votre écoute, la lecture aléatoire intelligente peut ajouter des recommandations de titres à vos playlists lorsque vous rejoignez Spotify.
Hello. Um, so I will start in about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, hello everyone. So today this is another touchHLE development stream. It's like the third one. So today what I would like to do is try to bring the compatibility with Heroes of Sparta II. It's another Gameloft title. And yeah, let's jump into it. So first of all, let me adjust the size and appearance so you could see it a little bit better. And I kinda already have some kind of working build which capable of running version 1.0.1. And so first of all I would like to show the progress what I have, and yeah, so this is like work in progress. This is not yet available, but I would like to try to make it officially compatible today. Yeah, so I will showcase first of all what I have right now about Hero of Sparta. So please let me know if it's too loud or not. Hello, can you tell me about the timeline of touchHLE, like new supported games and other stuff fixes? Well, you could already see what is supposed to be released in the changelog. So if you have access sorry, just trying to copy paste this link. Okay, is it better now? I could also adjust the settings inside the game itself. So I hope it should be better now. Okay, anyway, this is a changelog file and it basically says what will be released next in the broader view. So as you can see, we already have a lot of working games in comparison to the previous version. And if you want to have a more granular view of what is supposed to be released next, you could check the milestones. So for example, for the next release, this is what we think could be good to have. Those are most the usability improvements, like usability enhancement, but this is you could expect to have some of them in the next release. Okay, so back to the game itself. As I mentioned, this is a work in progress and it works more or less well. So right now I will just showcase what I have. Yes, I want to start new game and we will go with easy one. And the one thing what is kind of funny to me is the level of voice acting in this game. I don't know if you are familiar with it, but just listen and observe how they talk.
Argos, lower your sails.
Hades, what else do you want from me now?
You escaped hell, but you did not escape its doom. If you dare step onto Sparta's shores, hell will be unleashed on your kingdom.
I deserve this peace, Hades, and if I escaped from hell once, I can certainly prevent it from reaching my kingdom.
Your courage saved Sparta once, Argos. Don't let your pride doom it now. Act as a king must. Sail away from this place, Argos.
Yeah, so, well, this is a classic hero of Sparta. I don't know what to say about the controls. It seems to work well. Yeah, anyway, so this is the current state of art for this game. But yeah, so the question now is how to make it supported on the trunk, on the preview builds. So this is my focus for today, and we will see how it goes. Let me bring back the music and let's go. So first of all, I will switch back to the trunk, and as you can see, if now I try to run the build with Heroes of Sparta, so this is basically as if you run it from trunk with the latest preview build. So as one could expect, it will crash immediately, and the first function is unimplemented function mask room. I have low understanding of what this function does, so I will just search to understand what is going on. So mask room, so we have some kind of Stack Overflow answer, and it provides to us a bit of possible implementation of a mask room. So basically it is equivalent to checking if the character is ASCII. We will look up a default rune and do a mask with another parameter. So I think I could implement that assuming the ASCII characters, and then we will see if it will work or not. Yeah, so regarding the support on Android, so as you may know, the touchHLE is cross-platform, so technically if it is working on macOS, it will work on Android as well. But we will see. Maybe if I have a time, I will test on Android as well. So what else? Mask room. So we already have, I don't remember how it's called, but we already have some stuff about runes. Default rune something. Yeah, default rune local. And we already have some functions like to lower and to upper. So here it tells what it's C-type. Let me also check quickly the iOS manual pages to see if we have something regarding the mask room function. So this is a manual pages what comes with the documentation for development documentation for iOS, and on Unix-like system like macOS or Linux, you can just tap something like man, I don't know which function, so let's say exponent, and you can see the manual, the functions manual. On iOS you don't have a direct access to the terminal, but you have these manual pages which are provided into the documentation archive. And if I search for the mask room, I don't have anything, because probably this is undocumented function available on which is available, but we don't have a documentation in form of the man pages. Okay, so the other thing what we can try to do is to look at the we can look at the like disassembled code of this application. So I already disassembled it in Ghidra, and we can check what is happening and why the application want to call this function called mask room. And in order to do that, I will check the PC counter. So this is program counter. Basically, this is an instruction at which program crashed. So here, this is probably not tell us much, because it will just says what the mask room was called, but we can also check LRL, which is a link register. And here we can kinda see the code which is executed. So the function, we don't know what this function is doing, but it's taking two parameters and it's returning one parameter. And it does already call something to do with default room local. So here we are calling mask room with darn ct room t, and we pass also some kind of mask, I assume. Okay, let me search again and see if I can find some better documentation. Mask room, GNU collection. Yeah, let's see. So this is a BSD add. So probably if we search for mask room BSD, we may have more information. So this is some kind of patch set in C-type, and at least we can deduce the format of the call. So it is taking two arguments. One is of type ct-room-t, whatever it means, and the second one is unsigned long. Okay. So we know what we need to define: new function inside C-type part of the functions, and it should take two arguments. So let me also check something off screen related to this. Let me see. So mask room. Okay, so This is a prototype of this function, and we can define kind of the same function, but in touchHLE. So first of all, we need to pass the environment. So this is an obligatory argument which is passed to each C-like function defined in touchHLE. And it basically kind of got object which encapsulate the internal state of the application. So inside the environment you can find all types of information like CPU, current threads, bundle, startup type, window, etc, etc. So this is basically encapsulate the state of the emulation in some sense. Okay, so the next one is Darwin rune. So I assume this is like the rune what we want to mask. So I just call it rune. And we have also our mask. So let's say mask, and it's defined as unsigned long, which is probably means yeah, let's check. So because touchHLE is 32-bit, we could not assume easily what is the how many bytes and bits are used for any type. So what I usually do for that, I go to our repository and I type C types, and we have, well, kind of an issue explaining all of this, but we have a link here providing us with size and alignment in regard of data types. So for example here for unsigned long we will have 4 bytes, sorry, and it means what we will need to have like it defined as so it's unsigned U32. Okay, and then what do we return? Let me check again. So it seems what we should return an int, so something like this. Okay, and we also need to define this function in the list of the functions what we export. So we already have like those two, and now we want also to define the new. So I will say something like yeah, basically we need to say what we do now, define the mask rule, and we do pass the 2 arguments here. Okay, so let me quickly check if it does compile. There is no reason why it should not compile, but just to double check. Yeah, we have some bunch of warnings, but we will address them soon.
Quand vous partez en voyage à l'étranger, quelle est la chose que vous regrettez le plus? Réponse A, une opération.
And yeah, we do have a crash, but now it says non-implemented, not yet implemented, so it does indeed calls this function, and it crashes here because we have a to-do. so this is expected. Next thing. So what we want to do next? Well, we want to have an implementation. And presumably this should just mask the room, and I do have kinda pseudocode implementation, so it does look up of the rune in the current rune locale, but we only have a default rune locale right now. Then we will try to look up using the mask, and then we will just apply the another mask in order to provide the final result. So what I want also to do is I want to write some tests regarding this function, and I think it will be better to just ask I don't know, ChatGPT to write tests, and we can use those tests to actually check if the logic of this function is correct or not. So I think we can do that. Let me check again. So the mask here is always 0x4000, and yeah, so we will probably write the tests always using this mask. Or maybe we can use yeah, so the plan here is to ask, I don't know, ChatGPT to write some tests, and we will see if those tests are passing on the macOS, and if they are passing on the macOS, we could or maybe we could run it inside the iPhone simulator to be 100% sure, because I'm not really convinced about this unsigned long. Like, if I just run this code on the macOS, right here I have a 60-bit operating system, and so unsigned long on the 60-bit operating systems are well, 60-bit defined in 60-bit value. So on my macOS, the unsigned long will be of type U64, but on iOS, but on old iOS, it is U32. So probably I should run at the same environment and not at the, like, the point is what it will not make sense to run the tests on macOS, because the definition of the mask is different. Okay, so first of all, let's see and let's cheat a little bit and so I will ask ChatGPT to write the test about the mask rune function. Write a test function in C language to test the behavior of mask rune function. So write a test function in C lang to test the behavior of a mask rune function. And so let's see. How do I spell behavior? Right. And so let's see. Okay, so the mask rune function tests whenever the given character, typically an unsigned char value or EOF, end of file, has the character class represented by the mask. The mask bits are defined in C type. Interesting. Okay, so as far as we can see in the code of Hero of Sparta, it uses this as a mask, and as far as I can see, it corresponds to is space. As mask. Okay. Okay, so let me try to refine this test, because I don't want to define all of these constants. Use numerical values instead of constants. For mask values. Also, you also target 32-bit system. What? Well, so right now I'm seeing what it is not coherent. Like if we check C type S, so the space is 4000, but ChatGPT is saying what this 4000 is actually is hexadecimal digit, which is not correct. So let's see. Let's correct ChatGPT. Use correct values similar to below constants. So meanwhile, let me boot up my virtual machine, because it will take time to boot it up. And yeah, we can see if those tests are actually making sense. And you can see the problem with the those LLMs, because like I think my instructions was more or less clear to use numerical values, but it does not use numerical values. What it does, it copy pastes the part of the code what I provided. It still uses the C-type import, and basically this makes this code a bit unusable to me. Though I think I could still use the part of it. Like, I don't necessarily need to define all of those for the case of running this test program inside the emulator. So let me see. So this is my emulator. This is not my emulator. This is a virtual machine running into the UTM, which runs based on QEMU. And I have some test program. Let's just run it and see what it outputs. Hello. And let me see. So I want to write a new test program, and I need to do some additional stuff in order for this test program in order to be able to run this test program inside the simulator. It takes some time, so please be patient. Okay, so I opened the same test application inside my text editor. I'm using Sublime Text, and I opened the part regarding this is just a simple test application, and I can run the code using the application did finish launching with options, and then I could run it inside the simulator to test the actual behavior, and then I can run it again into the touchHLE. Okay, so let's see what ChatGPT is suggesting as a test code. So one moment. Okay, so it suggests to run this as a test function. Let me see. because this is Objective-C, this is strict superset of the C language. So technically, I can just define the test room and I can call the function right away. So let's see. So probably it will fail to compile because I'm missing some imports. Yeah, build failed. Conflicting types for test room, implicit declaration. Yeah. So because this is a C code, I need to first declare a function. And I don't even remember if it will work. Okay, build successful. Let's check again. Hello. When you did become interested in touchHLE? To be honest, I don't remember. I either discovered the project just by chance, or maybe I saw the video of Stop Skeletons from Fighting. This is a really cool video about the origin of touchHLE project. But yeah, so it was like more than 2 years ago. And the first thing what I tried to do is to make the Android port. Like I wanted the emulator to work on Android, and at the time there was it was available only on the macOS and Windows, and I decided to just see how hard it would be to make it compatible, to make it work on Android. And it was quite hard. I think I did a very quick and dirty implementation to just run the Super Monkey Ball on Android, and I make a pull request, contacted Hikari, and well, the rest is a history. Okay, so where we are. Okay, the tests are passed, but I don't want really to use assert. So what I want to use printfs. So let me ask our friend ChatGPT to use printf instead of assert. Yeah, so use printfs instead of asserts. Oh, fuck. It defines some kind of shitty macro. Oh, let me see if I can use something more better at thinking. Because it defines some kind of macro. Okay, don't use macro. Use check macro. Just printf. Your accent is too Russian. Yes. Yes, my friend. Okay, so I do have a new function which hopefully this time is using correct printfs. And so we could probably just replace it here and see if it still runs inside the emulator. Okay. So we have paths nearly everywhere. Now, what I want to do is I want to build this for iOS because it was previously built and run on the iPhone simulator, but now I want build to on iOS. So I have a setup of this project to build for the iOS 3 and using the base SDK 2.1. It means what once built, it doesn't, well, in order to build that, it does not require the code sign identity, and this means what we can provide, we can compile a unsigned binary, what we could run directly in touchHLE. So I remember what I do already have, yeah. So this command should run the same test application. And as you can see, it says what it's not implemented yet, because indeed in the code we have only to do. I do have some kind of a stubbish implementation for the mask rune here, which basically does the same thing, except so as you can see here, default rune local is already have a definition of the table of the runes, which is provided by get default rune local. And so here this is basically what I am trying to achieve. I do retrieve this table and I just call it in order to get the rune. So let's see. So here we could say mask, and here we should like see, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, so Darwin rune T. So rune local implies an integer C type function, so extract is a part of a B. Yeah, so let's say rune local. I don't have a beta naming here. So rune local, rune type. We do have like we do a masking once and then we are doing masking twice. Okay, so let's see if it does work. And it seems to work. So if we compare that with the results of the run inside the emulator, let's see. So we do have 256, 387 6 to 48. Yeah, so it seems to be all right. So I think this is an okish implementation. So the question is, do I want now to define so how to rewrite it into a better way? So I want to I'm not sure if I should rewrite it or not, this part. So let me first of all rename it to a host constant just for the clarity, and here I will say something like let I don't know, xx equal to host constant, and then I could say something like this, hopefully. So we do have a function, we do call our function, and here we get back so I assume this function should yeah, so I want to rewrite this part to be a little bit more clear, because right now I have an impression that I'm basically not doing it into the correct name. Hello. So right now what I'm doing here, we do have a constant exports, and in the custom one we do have a function which returns the address get default run local. So my wish is really to just reuse the address what was already defined in the constant exports. But I'm not sure if this will be re-executed. So let me check again. So I want to just go back to the initial definition which is working. So let me check again if I did not break anything here. So if I run my test program again, I do see what it's still working. Okay, so now I will add log here just to tell here. So I want to check how many times this function get called during the execution of this mask run during the run of the test program. Yes, so as you can see, the problem is what this function, it get called the picture hasn't been updated in a while. Let me see if I have some problem with OBS. Okay, let me try to recapture the screen. And let me see if it does make any difference. So I think this should work now. Just feed it to the screen. Okay. So now it should be okay, right? So I know it's kind of unrelated, but I'd like to take the opportunity to talk about CSI Miami. The game is rated as 5-star on the compatibility list, but it's not working, it constantly crashes. Well, let's check. So like here it was tested on Ubuntu and it was tested on Android. So the question is what is the operating system on which you are testing that application. So I do know what it doesn't work on Windows. On Windows it's crashing right away, and on some Android phones it could be difficult to select the menu and you basically stuck on the main screen. So hope it answers your question. Okay, so I hope you now see my screen. Sorry for that, because well, OBS sometimes just bugging. So what I was trying to do, I'm still trying to figure out how to properly implement the mask run function, and it's a bit tricky. I do have a progress, so here I could run my test program in touchHLE, and I could compare the output with iPhone simulator, and I do have a similar results. crashes on Windows due glass to J2. No, as far as I remember, if we talk about CSI Miami, the problem on Windows is actually related to the audio. But this is long time ago when I tested this application, so I don't know. Okay, where I was. Okay, so now I want to see how to avoid calling the function each time, because basically we have a function called getDefaultRoomLocal, and it's called on each invocation of a mask room. So actually I could just simplify this and just say what could I say? So I can just call getDefaultRoomLocal here. First of all, let's do a simplification. So let's say something like that. getDefaultRoomLocal, and we pass environment. No, what we are passing? We pass memory and TILD. So we are doing something like this. getDefaultRoomLocal. So does it work?
Comment faire d'une location de vacances banale un séjour à Britel?
I'm sorry about this advertisements stuff, because I'm streaming music from Spotify and I do not have a Spotify premium. So sorry for that. And yeah, now we have back our music. Okay, so this should be equivalent implementation. Let's see if it's actually still working as before. Yeah, it does work and it's passing the test, but we are still calling function multiple times. So what I want to do, so we do have options for that. First options is we just say to do, and we say like do not recreate room table on each column. So this is one option. And by the way, we could also, so this is like table pointer, right? Well, it's not really table, it's default room local pointer. And here we can say like environment memory free, and we pass the default room local, and we need to cast it. Okay, we need to cast In some games, specifically in Windows, have absurd problems. The same with Resident Evil Generation. The game does not load on the launch. Well, as far as I remember, so Resident Evil is still not officially supported, and one of the reasons, as we do aware what it has some problems on different platforms. We may have a solution later, but so far I don't know. Okay, where I am. I need to a const mutable, right? Right, let's see. Okay, so we are still passing. It's a good sign. And I am thinking about just leaving it like this with a to-do. It's not particularly difficult to address that, but I just don't feel like doing it right now. Okay, now if we do run our application back, we should have a different crash with a hero of Sparta. Yeah, so we do have now a different crash. It's a bit more trickier to fix. But for the moment I want to cover the mask run with the tests. So the next step will be to convert those tests into the tests what we run with the touchHLE itself. So we do have an integration tests, and those integration tests are written like a C program which is compiled to the 32-bit binary, which run by touchHLE as an integration test. And it takes some time to launch it, but yeah, like we do have 34 tests right now, and the idea will be to write some kind of test for the mask run as well. Okay, I do need to make a small bathroom break, and I need to make some coffee, so I will be like in 10 minutes. So I'm back. Let me see where we are. So right now, if we run the game of Hero of Sparta 2, we do have a black screen and it crashes. So right now I'm trying to implement the mask rune function, and I do have some kind of implementation which is not the most efficient one, because we are calling the get default rune local many times, like once per call of the mask rune. But what I want to implement is I want to write tests for this function. And we do have already integration tests. So this is like a C code, and I do want to define some tests similar to what we have written as the test application. When will Hero of Sparta 2 will be released? Well, right now I'm working on bringing back the support of this application. So when I finish with support, it will be released as the part of preview builds, but I don't know when. Like, we will see. Okay. So I want to write a new test function, and where we are. So this test function, it should return mask rune, and let me add it here as well. So let me find the text. So I want kinda to replicate the same stuff. So basically we go so we want to have a test cases, and we want to have a result. So here I will define so what I want also to assert, what Darwin run T is VHRT, which is I32. I guess what I want to assert also what we are ASCII here, like if I say something like rune as U8, so if is ASCII, and we will add an article. So let me briefly check if it still works. It should, right? Are preview builds available in the public domain? I'm not sure what you mean by the public domain, but preview builds are free to download. So when I referring to the preview builds, it's this part of the section of the touchHLE downloads. You need to be logged into GitHub in order to download them, but they are free for everyone. And if you click here on the last one, you have all of the builds and you can download them. Okay, so rune is ASCII. So for the moment we only support ASCII runes, and I hope this is just passing the assertion in the case of the game itself. No, it does not. Okay, this is quite interesting. Well, I guess we will remove this assert, but I still want to write the tests at least for the ASCII case. So we need to have a test cases, and in our test cases we will have char C, we will have mask, which is long, unsigned long, and we have expected int. And so we will start building our cases based on the test application. So here C type A. Thank you, I don't know where to get websites, I didn't realize it, and only flow of information. Yes, so they are indeed on the GitHub. So, but if you are like accessing the touchHLE repository on GitHub, from GitHub, it's a bit tricky to get to the builds because you need to go to actions, and then you need to select the trunk. And so you need to select trunk here as a branch, and then you have a list of all of the workflow runs, and if you click on the last one you have a list of the preview builds. Like it's more convenient to just use the website which was built by Hikari in order to get the latest builds. Okay, where I was. So I want to implement this, for example, this part of tests. So let me see. I want to implement this part of the test, and I need to also have a definition of the masks. And those definitions are quite tricky to get right.
Réponse
So
C.
let me
Se casser
check
une jambe.
again.
Question auxquelles on préfère ne pas répondre.
Europe
Where
Assistance.
do I have them?
On peut s'en passer. Sauf quand
Yes,
on a
so
besoin.
I
Avec
do have them
l'assurance annuelle,
here.
protégez tous vos voyages d'ailleurs.
Plus
And
d'infos sur europe-assistance.fr. Europe Assistance France SAS, 11 avenue François Mitterrand, 93 210 Saint-Denis. Immatriculation à l'ORIAS 0702 94 63.
oh, I hate Spotify. Anyway, so I don't want to have those definitions inside the test code, but I do want to use them. So here for C type A, so we can say something like I don't know, define mask rule alpha, and we can just say x L, which is yeah, it should be okay. And we can say what we want to test against the letter A with our mask, and we say what we say. We say what the result should be equal, should be not equal to 0. And the result, well, we can maybe just copy paste it from the definition. So here it should be this, right? Then we will have C type U, which is upper, and is equal to this constant. And so here it should be like this, and yeah, so this is for letter A. We do have this new definition. Okay, so let me see if this already working. So I do have this bar to run the tests. So let's say I will just copy paste it. And what we have here? So we have char C from the test case. We have mask, and we have a result. So both are ints, and yeah, we do want to run our mask room. And let me see, so let me see, so I do have yeah, so I do have a snippet to run the code of our tests, integration tests against macOS, and right now it does not work because I don't have a definition of the mask rule function, which should have C and mask as the parameters, but I still don't have a declaration of this function. So let me add the declaration of this function. and let me check if I have it somewhere. So this is C-type functions. We can probably define it somewhere here near the local. We say what is indeed C-type .h, and our function is a definition of our function is mask room. So do I have varchar here? So let's say VHRT, and I don't remember if this definition is actually somewhere. Maybe I should redefine it to be at least consistent with two upper and two lower. Let's say like this. And unsigned long. Yeah, so unsigned long. And let's also move the definition of the constants. Yeah, we can do it later. So this part we can define it. I mean, it can be here, it's not a big deal. Okay, so now we do have a definition of a function, and yeah, it does pass. And now if we run this integration test as as integration test, it should also pass in the touchHLE itself. It does, so it's a good sign. Okay. So, I won't cheat a little bit again, and I will ask ChatGPT to complete this test function using the test output what we obtained from the simulator. And basically, I don't want to painstakingly copy-paste each of the results. And I think this is an acceptable use of LLMs. Let me see. So, using following test run output complete following test output, and we will just copy paste the test output. Complete following test function, and we will just copy paste this part, and hopefully it will produce the output what we want. Okay, the amount of the thinking of this model okay, it's outputted something. So let me check if it's actually working or not at all. This comment, this seems to be, so let me add few more zeros. Focus. So let me see. First of all, let's check if it does work on the macOS itself. Are you planning to work on the first game next, like Hero of Sparta 1? Maybe we will see. So first of all, I want to finish with this one.
Mettez en avant vos goûts
It's
musicaux avec
becoming
Premium.
quite tricky,
Animez un
but
jam avec vos proches et partagez vos titres préférés avec toute votre bande sans pub. Vous pouvez aussi écouter vos albums préférés dans n'importe...
And yeah, ChatGPT is useful for the task which does not require thinking. So here this is just about copy pasting the code, and it will be tedious to do manually, but here it's should be okay. And let's see if integration are working as well. And it does. So let me double check this piece of code. So I don't want this information because this is kind of noise. We already have everything what is needed inside the definition of the constant. And I will say just for readability. Just for readability, and I will also say what this is. Those comments are kinda useless, so I just remove them. Okay, and I also want to run some kind of a linter for. I don't remember if we have Clang formatter.
I will miss you forever.
Format. Let me see. So I want to run the formatter because if I just commit those as is, it will probably just not pass the GitHub actions because we have a checks about the formatting. Clang format, no, I don't want to search here. As such. Yeah, so .i and then it's awful what I need to remember this by heart. Dev scripts. Can I just run it? So let's just say something like
I will miss you forever.
and it's formatted it somehow. Does it still work? Let me triple check the output of this because I'm not quite confident into the LLM output. So for example here, mask room print, yeah.
I will miss you forever.
It seems to be a correct one. So if you notice any kind of inconsistency between this test and the output, please let me know. In what stack are you making the game and what IDE are you using? So the IDE what I am using is called Rust Rover. I'm using the Community Edition, and the stack, so the language is Rust. touchHLE is written in Rust mostly, but it's not very typical for the Rust project. So if you check here the languages, it's mostly Rust. What else? So let me run another linter. And I think I can commit it at least locally. So let's check what we have here, and we say something like implement mask room. Implement mask room. Okay. Now let's go back to our game and let's see where we are. black screen. And it's crashing inside this. I do have game-specific hack to bypass this. It's not the prettiest one, but this is the best what I can do right now. So let me just cherry pick it. I already prepared it before the stream. And it's still not enough for this game, but we will see what we have a progress. So by progress I mean what we have crash in our part of the emulator. So right here, this is a bit of a nasty crash because it's crashes on the assertion about the capabilities in jail enable. And this means what game is doing something not quite right. Like if we go to check the OpenGL documentation, so let me just search OpenGlass 1.1 specs reference. We can check for the hint, jail hint, and as you can see into the description, so this is, no, sorry, it's enable, jail enable. Yes, jail enable. We have a list of all possible values for enabling. And right here, it's calling it with a capability what is not in the list. And we can check the capability, like, let me see. So we can add the additional print, and if we run game again, it will output the capability. So we have our crash and it's calling it with the value 0x1702. And if we check our values inside the list of the constants for jail 2.1 compatibility, we can see that this is actually texture constant. And if we check again here, we don't have this one. Like we have gel texture 2D, but this is not the same as gel texture. So if you have a look at gel texture 2D, it's 0x0DE1. So it's a different one, and I think this is a common mistake with people using OpenGL APIs, because the naming of the constants are quite confusing. So here what we can do, we can just tolerate this kind of error, and we tolerate it by just saying what in the case of the calling of gel enable with the texture capability, we just make a pass-through, and you will see it will generate the error on the level of gel, but the game will work. So this is not particularly emulator problem, this is a game problem, and we are tolerating this game problem. So I still have a black screen, and I think it will crash once again. So as you can see, we have a bunch of touchGL errors. Now we are coming to another function which will be a bit tricky to implement, but I think we can commit this one. So I will say something like tolerate GL enable GL texture. Yeah, so let's commit that. It's not yet pushed to the trunk. I think I will push it at the end. Yeah, as I said, I'm using Rust Rover IDE and I am writing the code in Rust. So I'm not sure if I can provide more visibility into this one. We don't take the requests for the applications. Sorry. Okay, so frxf. So let's go to the list of functions what are provided by the libc and some extensions. And basically frxf is break the float pointing number into normalized fraction and the power of 2. So the normalized fraction is between 1/2 and 1 uninclusive or 0, and the value is between x exponent is basically integral part of the exponent. Yeah, so I do have the implementation of this function already, but once again I want to write some tests. And when I say write some tests, I want to ask ChatGPT to write some tests for me. So I'm here at the math.rs file, and let me check for my previously provided implementation. So this is basically some kind of math where I take the logarithm of the argument and I floor it and also add the 1, and then I calculate the fractional part. As far as I tested this function just by hand, it seems to work well, but I'm not 100% confident into the implementation, so that's why I want to write some tests.
Pas toujours simple de se faire comprendre lorsque l'on crée une campagne
And we
publicitaire.
have
Alors si
some
comme dans un appel vidéo
advertisement on
votre micro est
Spotify.
coupé, c'est encore plus dur.
Sorry for
Avec
that.
Spotify, c'est différent. Nous aidons votre entreprise à être vue et entendue auprès d'un public
Okay, so anyway, let's me first check if we does pass, if this implementation allows the game to pass to the next crash. But right now I want to write some tests regarding this function. So it's still crashing, but it's crashing in another part of the glass on J2, and we will deal with that in the moment, but right now I want to complete the implementation of this frxf function. So for that I'm going to ask ChatGPT to help me again. So write a test function in C-lang to test the behavior of frxf function. You should provide different test cases and do early return from the function with increasing negative number. In case of successful pass of all tests, the function should return 0. Some thinking, what we don't really care about. Well, the amount of yapping what this model do is just enormous. Okay, let me see. Well, so it does provide something. Let's see if it does make sense. I am going to the main.c. I am defining this function once again, and I want this test case to be included here. So I should provide the definition of this function, and we can just use it from the main pages. So I do think we already have math section, yes. And yeah, it should be something like that, right? So let me run those tests again on the macOS first, and it does not know what to do with infinity and none. And I will just commit this out. Sign bit m. let's don't care about this one. And this test is also something not that important. Does it pass on the macOS? Yes, it does. I'm not sure if you are seeing this, but yeah, it's passing on the macOS. Let's see if it's passed on the touchHLE itself. It seems to passing as well. Let me check. I want to search in the Rust files. So, for example, if I commit this part, we should have some tests which are failing. And we indeed have a failing test. Well, we do have a failing assertion. I can remove this assertion and run the test integration again. And in this case, it should fail in the test itself. And we do indeed have a failing tests. And it was...
Mantobot, c'est pour moi. Joyeux anniversaire, moi.
Mais c'est pas ton anniversaire.
Oui, mais...
It was failing at the test number 7. Let me check again. So I do want to avoid this, to use this test counter. So I think it's quite way better to just use like the number and not the counter, because it will help seeing which test failing right away. So let me check. Yeah, it should be better this way. Okay, let me see. So it's indeed not passing the test about the negative numbers, and this is expected. So if I bring back this part, I should have properly passing tests. Hello. Well, once again, we do not take any requests. Right now I'm working at the Hero of Sparta II, and we will see how it goes. So I do have a passing test. I would like to run the linter again. So I'm running the linter here, and I'm running another linter. And I should be able to commit this implementation right away. So let me see. It seems to be okay. It seems to be okay as well, and I can say implement xf function. Nice. So now back to our hero of Sparta II. If I run it again in this state, it will crash on another OpenGL function, I guess. So let me see, it's crashing here. It's crashing on the hint, and we can check which mod is actually used. Let me check again. I do have some stash of the files, so I think it's this one. So if I run, it will output the value of the hint, the value of the arguments of GL hint function. Okay, so let me check again. It is calling GL hint with mod equal to 0, and this is not like expected into the OpenGL. If we check reference for OpenGL ES 1.1, the value what is expected in the mod is GL fastest, GL nicest, and GL don't care. And here it is 0. 0 it's not expected to be. Where can I get touchHLE latest build? So the latest preview build of touchHLE is available on GitHub. So you can check here. This is the latest one. It is not yet containing the part of my work related to Hero of Sparta, and I will hope to get it done soon, but we will see how it goes. Okay, so reading the documentation again. In the errors part, GL invalid enum is generated is either target or mod is not acceptable value. 0 for the mod is not acceptable value, and we can double check again what this is application which does something stupid. So this is indeed the call to GL hint, but we will want to check the link registers. And if we check it here, so it is calling GL hint with only this part. Yeah, well, it depends. So it's taking longer, but well, this is a kind of issues what we are facing when we developing the touchHLE. So we don't know. Here I'm at least sure what it will be possible to make this game compatible with touchHLE. When it will be possible, I don't know yet. So here it's still kinda, well, the bottom line, it's difficult. So this is a reason. So what I'm seeing here is they are calling GL hint as like you don't have above the second parameter, which is very strange. And if we check the specs again, gel hint is supposed to have 2 parameters. So technically the best thing to do is to check the behavior inside the emulator, like in the virtual machine, what does happen. But here I'm quite sure that we can just tolerate this call with a 0 mode. So I do already have a part which does the toleration, and it prints the nice debug message in the case to indicate what gel hint is called with an incorrect arguments. So let me see if it does work. It will generate some gel errors, but this is not like fatal errors. So now we do have something. This is still not a finished game, but at least we have a menu. And we do have a bunch of gel errors. So we finally arrived at the menu, but this is still not the fully compatible game. Like if I click on the tab to continue, we have yet another error related to gel, OpenGL part. And the solution is exactly the same, is to just tolerate it. So let me first commit the part. So I would like to say something like, I don't know, tolerate, what it was. It was gel hint, I guess. So GL hint something like target 0x0. And let me run the linter again. Yeah, sorry, I'm not sure what is happening with my stream. So, what I want to show to you is now I am arrived at the part when I do have a menu, but it's still crashing when you tap to continue. Can I run Asphalt 4 on 022 April Fool joke? No, you can't. If you check the app compatibility database, the support for the Asphalt was added after the release. So, as I hope you can see, we do have a menu, and when we click Tab to continue, it is crashing. So I'm trying to fix this error right now. So I commit this part and I check what is the error. It's about cow face, and this is the same kind of issue regarding the fact of application misbehaving and calling the OpenGL function with unexpected value. So the fix is exactly same. Okay, so let me commit this part as well. And I say tolerating GL call face and this part. Commit and let me run again. So now, hopefully, we can go inside the game. So we have a loading screen. It will go to the state of tap to continue. And we are inside the game. So it's a bit slow because I am in the development mode. Let me switch to the release. So recompilation will take some time, but it will be faster. So let's start the game and see if I forget anything. And after many battles, after having Argus finally return something wrought and perish before his eyes.
Argos, lower your sails.
Hades! What else do you want from me now?
You escaped hell, but you did not escape its doom. If you dare step onto Sparta's shores, hell will be unleashed on your kingdom.
I deserve this peace, Hades! And if I
Let's
escape
skip
from...
it. So, it seems it's working well. There is maybe some more bugs to fix, but at least the core functionality seems to work as expected. So, I think I will do the last bathroom break and we will push those changes to the trunk and I will do a report to the AppDB. But for the moment I am making a break for some minutes. Okay, I'm back, and this is kind of a last part. Let me just see if it's working as expected. Oh, it seems it's working as expected. So, what I want to do now is I want to push those changes to the trunk of touchHLE. So I just pushed them, and in 10 or 15 minutes it should be available for anyone to download. Well, actually, let me see. I want also to cherry pick this push. Okay. So the build should be available in like 10 to 15 minutes. And the last thing what I want to do is the part of the stream is to create the UpDB entry for the Hero of Sparta. So let me see if we already have it. Hero of Sparta 2 1.2. No, it's not the version what I have. Right here I do have the version of 1.1. So yeah, so like it took nearly 3 hours, well, 2 hours and a half, but it does not represent the actual amount of time what I am spending for making games to work with touchHLE. So here it's kinda polished stream in the sense what I already have the code, I already know what it will work with touchHLE, but I want to make work in progress code to be like production ready. So writing tests, checking the documentation, making sure that it's split into the good commits, etc. etc. So the actual time what I spend making the game is order of magnitude more time, not just few hours. Like, for example, Hero of Sparta was on my radar for quite some time. Like, if I check the first attempts to making it work, it dates back to November of the previous year. So yeah, it was working at that moment, but I didn't want to announce it because it was in pretty work in progress state, and it took quite some time to make this game compatible. Okay, so I want to send the app compatibility report, and I need to have some additional information. So I want to submit report for a new version. Version 101. The display name is HOS2. The bundle identifier is Gameloft HOS2. The minimum version is 3.0. The touchHLE version, I'm using this one, and it will be the same for the upcoming preview build. So I'm on Sequoia, I'm using M1 GPU. The scale hack is supported because so far I have been running it with scale hack 2. And we did not make a screenshot yet. So let's see what we can use as a screenshot. Continue. Use this as a screenshot. Oops. So we think about the rating. I want to say what the game is playable. The video are skipped. Some secondary menus, menu entries can crash. And yeah, apart from that, it seems to run well. I have not noticed anything else, but I haven't played, I only played the first 2 levels, so I don't know if it's possible to finish the game, but for the moment my rating is pretty optimistic. So the report may not be shown yet to you because it's not approved yet by my moderator, but the build should be available pretty soon in the GitHub Actions. But a part of that, I guess this is mostly it for today. So we do have a new game. It took me considerably more amount of time to make it work. But yeah. So, any last minute questions from the audience? Thank you. What is one of my favorite games because wow, one of my favorite games is Gameloft 2. It's unfortunately is not yet supported. This is one of game what I really spent a lot of time back 2010. I also like Prince of Persia Warrior Within. I guess this is like marvelous port, and it's quite astonishing what early iOS are able to run this game. Is it better now? I'm sorry, today the OBS is quite laggy and I don't know why. So what was I saying? Like two of my favorite early iOS games is Bike or Die. Right now we have like very low support for this game. Maybe I can run it just to show you. So yeah, this was one of my favorite game back in 2010 or something. And yeah, this is Elastomania clone, but I spent a lot of time on this one. It has a 2-star support right now in touchHLE. And another one, let me see, yeah, Prince of Persia, Warrior Within, very great game, and it is marvelous what Gameloft managed to port it into the first place. And I spent quite a lot of time trying to get it work with touchHLE. We have a lot of bugs related to the string parsing, and those bugs was introduced by me actually. But yeah, right now it does work and I'm quite happy. Anyway, so let me run the Hero of Sparta 2 once again, and maybe I play a little bit further just for testing purposes. Games that use the accelerometer works normally. Well, it depends what you define by normally. I think we do have a decent support for the accelerometer, but yeah, we had previously some issues on Android, but those issues were fixed. And on that lovely note, we will finish today. So I'm glad that I was able to make God of War, or I mean the Hero of Sparta II compatible with touchHLE. And see you soon, guys.